What's going on YouTube? Over the last couple years, I've had a couple of people ask me, what's my setup for stream? As streaming is becoming more prominent, more saturated, and there's just a lot of people doing it right now. I think it's a good thing to go over when people are looking into getting into streaming themselves. So I've been streaming for the last 4 years, a little over 4 years, and have really gone through a lot of changes with my setup. But as of right now, I have a really good setup. So before we get into this video, I just want to thank my sponsor. This video is sponsored by nobody. But yeah, so let's get into it. So let's go over the things that we can see here. So I've got two keyboards because I have two computers. This is a HyperX Alloy Pro, and then this is like a Kapt brand keyboard I found on Amazon. It came with that mouse right there, that RGB one. And then I've got this Razer mouse here. It's wired right now, but it is a wireless mouse. It's just charging right now. And then I have my mic here, which is an AT2020 USB Plus microphone. Honestly, it's really good. You actually don't have to get like a crazy XLR mixer setup for microphones and audio. I mean, if you're really particular about audio, but for me personally, as long as I can understand what you're saying when you're streaming, it's good enough. And this is, it's $100. So, I mean, it is kind of an expensive mic if you're just getting into streaming, but I've had this mic for like 3 years. So it's a really good mic and serves well and sounds really great. So I've got 3 monitors here. These two go to my gaming PC. When I'm not streaming and playing games offline or just using my computer in my downtime, I have a BenQ 24-inch 144 hertz monitor for gaming, and then I have a Samsung 24-inch monitor. Although it is Samsung, these are cheap monitors, so I got 2 of the same ones. This one's also the same Samsung brand. I don't know exactly what the monitor is, but they're little 60 hertz monitors that are 24-inch, and they were like $80 each. So, keeping it, aesthetically pleasing for me personally, even though nobody on stream is going to see that. I have 2 of the same Samsung monitors. So yeah, this monitor here goes to my streaming PC. Let's get into the headphones. So these headphones are the Corsair H50s, I think. They were like $60 or something. So nothing like too crazy for headphones. They're really good. I've had these for a few months, not too long. And then I have a giant Gorilla mouse pad that kind of covers everything. The reason why I got a giant mouse pad is because I have 2 keyboards and 2 mice, and I need the space for all this stuff. So I also have a Stream Deck down here. This is my what is it, a 15 key Stream Deck. You don't need that starting out when you're streaming. For me, I pay somebody to help make YouTube videos sometimes, usually when I do my stream highlights, which there is a link up here in the top right for stream highlights. If you want to click on that and check out some of the funny moments I've seen on stream. But I pay somebody to do my YouTube editing, and Twitch doesn't allow you to do like a hotkey for markers. So the only way I could figure out how to do that was just to get a Stream Deck. It makes everything super simple. I can switch between my scenes in OBS. It's really awesome. So you don't necessarily need that when you start out on stream, but it's super cool. It's convenient. I got something stuck in my foot. Okay. Oh my fucking god. The next thing I have is this Logitech C920 webcam, 1080p 60 FPS. Honestly, that's all you need. I don't have a crazy camera. The camera I'm using right now, where you can see all this happening, is my girlfriend's camera, and she's had this camera for a while. So instead, when I need to be more mobile when I'm doing all this stuff. I can't really walk around with a webcam mic and also pick up audio that well. So I'm using this. So this camera I'm using here has nothing to do with my stream setup. So don't even worry about what I'm using. I've got a little Zowie mouse thing. This is a Elgato HD60S. It's the external capture card, which I need for both PCs to work together and stream. So going just kind of like over the important stuff. The black one is my gaming computer, which has a 1080 Ti in there, graphics card. I have a i7 9700K CPU in there, and then I've got 32 gigs of RAM. That is not something that I got right away. Like I said, this computer right here, it technically has all brand new parts except for the power supply, which I've had since I started gaming, which was been about 5 years now. So it's really just been over the years I've been kind of swapping out parts and building it up, and eventually I got to a point where I had enough leftover parts to where I could build a streaming PC. So my streaming PC has a lot of the original parts that I've had from older builds and stuff like that. The only new thing in this build is the graphics card and a power supply. And the graphics card in my streaming PC is a 2060 Super RTX, and then I've got just a little 6700K i7 CPU, and then I have, I think, 16 gigs of RAM in there. So those are kind of like just, you know, the streaming PC is not the craziest thing. It doesn't have all the craziest hardware in it and stuff, but it's good. It works perfect. RTX rendering on OBS works really well, and the RTX Super handles it really well too. So that's my two PCs. That is the you know, all of the hardware and all that kind of stuff. Now I'll kind of touch base a little bit on the software. I'm not going to go too deep into it just because software and things like that, everybody can do it a little bit differently. This is just for my setup and my situation. Since I don't have an XLR mic, I needed a lot of software and a lot of virtual audio stuff to set up. So I'll go over it just in case you're, you know, if you're curious or whatever, what I'm using, how I set up a dual PC stream without an actual, like a physical mixer and an XLR mic. It took me all day to learn this kind of thing because audio is not my strong suit. I really don't like messing with it, especially when it's virtual, because it's really hard to understand what things are doing. So I'll go over that a little bit, and if you're curious, you know, this is what I'm using to have both of these computers communicate to each other and output my stream at a solid quality. Now I'm on my gaming computer. I'm not going to go over the software I'm using on my streaming computer because it's kind of like the same. So whatever I'm using on my gaming PC, I'm also going to be using on the stream PC. It's just the configurations are going to be a little bit different. But you know, again, software and stuff is all different for everybody. So I'm not going to go too into details about that. So the first thing that I want to show is the mixer that I'm using. This is a virtual mixer. It's called Voicemeeter Banana. And I use this to monitor my audio and stuff. It's basically a virtual mixer for audio. So I have my microphone is appearing right here. I have Discord audio coming through here. And then from my streaming PC, my alerts come through here. I also have Spotify and music and stuff coming through here. And just kind of, you know, gets a little bit more in depth about how that's set up. But this is the virtual mixer that I'm using to configure audio and everything like that to the streaming PC so I can output that. The Elgato capture card I mentioned earlier and showed you guys, that is what I'm using to output video and gameplay and all that stuff. And then my webcam, the C920, is what I use to capture my face. There's that with the audio, and then for, you know, streaming, outputting the stream and all that kind of stuff, I use OBS. OBS is right here, so you can, you know, it's gonna be all weird and stuff, but you know, this is just on my gaming PC, so it's not configured for the streaming stuff. But OBS and a virtual mixer, those two things will really take you a long way if you decide to do a dual PC stream setup. With a single PC, you don't need this mixer that I'm using. You might want to use virtual audio cables, which I also have, you know, getting a little bit more into detail about my audio setup. But I have audio cables here that have also helped me set up the audio and stuff. So that is kind of just a brief rundown of my setup. It's not too in detail, but if you have questions on anything I went over, if I need to go a little more in depth, leave a comment, let me know what you're curious about, and I will definitely respond. That is my setup. As of 2020, that is what I use to stream. Now I have reasons for all of those things that I have. You know, I'm not saying you have to have all this stuff when you're first starting out, because you need to first figure out if you actually like streaming or not. That's why I got into streaming. I stream because I enjoy playing video games and I want to entertain people. And all of these things that I have, I use for a specific reason. They better the quality that I have on Twitch. They give me, you know, tools and resources to use throughout my stream to make it the way that I want, so I can give the stream that I want to give. That doesn't really make sense. None of this is anything that you need right off the bat. You need a gaming PC that is capable of playing your games at decent quality, and you know, you need to kind of learn how to use OBS. And yeah, I mean, it is an investment. It's a long haul if you're looking to, you know, grow a community within Twitch. And that's all, those are all things that I've told myself before I even got into streaming, was that it's going to take a long time, and that's why I've been doing this for as long as I have. So that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, if I went over anything on my setup and you want to know a little bit more about, let me know, comment, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Kapt. I will see you guys there. Yeah, and check out my other videos too.